How we doing? So this here is my Suzuki Ignis Sport. It is a New Zealand new one, and yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges. I bought it for about $3,500 about 4 years ago, and I've absolutely loved the car. But yeah, now it's time for some upgrades, and these are some of the things that I'm going to be doing. So it is a bit rough around the edges, as I was saying. It needs panel and paint, and that is next on the list. It also needs new wheels because currently it is 4-wheel drive spec. So this has some Avanti Stalker 17 inches on it all the way around, and we're looking at a few different options to get some new wheels for it and new tyres, maybe some 15-inch ones or something that's going to work well with it. We also have the front spotlights that we're going to be putting in. We have those for it, and we're going to more than likely be painting it back to red with the factory sort of rally spec decals on there. So it has the Recaro sets with the fishnets in them. I have the ones for the rear as well. It's all a work in progress. Obviously these come out with the M18A engine in them, high speed manual, high compression, and they are a sporty, high revving type of car, and great around town, great everywhere really. It's just a good all round car. The problem with my M18A that was in it was I had a slight nod rock, and the valve train was very noisy on it. So as you can tell here, this looks like a M15A engine, but in fact it is an M18A VVT that has been put in. I purchased the M18A engine for $749.86. That's New Zealand dollars from my local wrecker. Doing the swap was actually relatively easy. Now we pulled the M15A out and we bolted everything from the M15A engine onto the M18A engine. Now we use the M18 injectors, we use the M15A intake and throttle body and air intake, etc. We use the M15A exhaust manifold. I also had to use the alternator. There's a few other little small bits that were on it that we had to swap over, but basically we swapped everything from the M15A over to the M18A it was just a lot easier. We used the M15A wiring loom that all bolted up to this engine. I also had to take the gearbox off of the M15A, so I used the M15A clutch and gearbox, all bolted that all on. Some of the things that I had to take off the M18A were the water housing system that's in there for the thermostat and all that. It's different, so I took it off the M15A, used it on that. And as mentioned, the throttle body is off of M15A. These are the injectors, the yellow ones out of the M18A engine. So yeah, it was a relatively easy sort of swap. I basically used as much as I could off of this car to swap it over to the other one. So essentially it was just an M18 long block that I've swapped everything over to. And it just makes it a lot easier. Everything was plug and play. So this job took us 3.5 hours to do the swap. I have a very good team of mechanics and friends that hustled to get it done, and we got it all in there, and 3.5 hours all swapped over, which was rather impressive on its own. So I put obviously new oil, fresh coolant in it, plugged it all in, and started it up, and it started up first pop. No warning lights, nothing like that. Idle's fine, drives amazing, adjusted the clutch, drives amazing as well. So I'll take you for some driving experiences, show you what it's like. So my old M18A engine did 209,000 Ks, and the one that's in this, the M18A, which is out of the Suzuki Ignis, has done 127,000 Ks, and came with a 3-month warranty, and so far so good. The engine is solid. Quiet. Don't hear any weird sounds coming out of it. What you can slightly hear is a bit of ticking from the injectors, which is normal. Holding a camera and trying to drive at the same time is a little bit difficult, but we will give it a shot. So first gear, it's taken off. I've done 22,000 Ks in the, 22 Ks in the car since I put the engine in. When I first got the engine running, I took it for its maiden voyage. I noticed after I came out of the gas station, because I had to get some gas, that it did cough and splutter a little bit, but a lot of that could just be the ECU self-learning. But after that, it has come right, the idle has come right. My only concern at the moment is, if you can hear, my fans are on. Now, it's obviously these Ignises don't have a thermostat gauge or a gauge to tell you how hot it is. So I might stick one in and just keep an eye on it. But in the morning, I'll let it go through a cold cycle again, check the fluids, make sure they're all okay, and see what happens from there. I did quite a bit of research on the M18A swap into these Suzuki Ignises and what it would kind of be like, and it's one of those things that you're not going to know until you actually do it. And I've done it now and I find it extremely good. Like the M15A is very lively, it revs a lot, it's a cool car. The M18 I haven't found it's much different in the sense of the rev range, like maybe if anything very slightly, but it's still very perky, very lively. It gets up to 5,000, 5.5, 6,000 RPM very quickly, and you still have that high revving, high compression type of engine buzz that you actually get out of the Ignises. Power wise, it's not something, you know, it is only 300 cc's more, so when you're just driving around, you're not feeling like it's like, oh my god, this is so powerful. It's torque, right? You're getting a lot more torque out of these engines, and you definitely feel that. It's just an all-round better car to drive, and you do notice you have a lot more power once you start putting your foot into it a lot more. Do I recommend doing this swap? 100%, yes. It was relatively easy. As I mentioned before, we did it in 3.5 hours, and it cost me, what, 800 bucks almost for an engine. It was all plug and play. Then I spent another 150 on fluids, which is oil, filter, coolants and stuff like that. So, am I happy? Yes, I'm absolutely stoked with it. It's definitely worked out well. You know, the car doesn't have the ticks and the knocks like it had with the M18A engine, and it's more torque now, and it's great to drive. So if you get a chance, M18A swap your Ignis Sport. Now keep in mind there is an M18A engine which is non-VVT. I'd recommend finding one with VVT, because yeah, if you know what VVT is, then it's definitely going to help. So yeah, I am going to be posting this video to Facebook group, the Ignis Sport Owners group on Facebook, and I'll post it to YouTube as well, for anybody that is looking at swapping their vehicle. And I will keep, for at least a long time, I'll be keeping a look on, you know, to check the comments, so if anyone has any questions, then I can help answer those. So yeah, 100% M18 swap your Suzuki Ignis Sport. Thanks for watching.